Stay in the dark. Puts the lotion on its skin.
I was just about to say that exact line.
All right, we're ripe and ready to go, man.
Right? This is gonna be fun.
It is, yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
You're good to go.
Hit the button. Justine.
Justin, you guys are live. You're good to
Okay.
go.
All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to CNA Weekend Recap. Justin, Josh, Ken, coming from the Geek Cave as always. And there is a lot to talk about. We'll start with D23. That was the big thing that happened this weekend. There was a lot that was announced. I don't know that I was just blown away specifically with the Marvel portion, but I mean, let's get into it a little bit.
Everybody expected. We didn't get a lot of what we expected to get.
Right.
Which, I mean, Fantastic Four was everybody's waiting to hear about, so.
Maybe that's our fault. I don't guess they ever led us to believe that was what was coming, but when they give us Phase 6 and it's like, here's the beginning, here's the end, and then nothing.
Right.
You expect to get some blanks filled in, and we really didn't get much. So let's talk about what we did get. We got the Thunderbolts.
Jumping straight to that, okay?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest news. We got some trailers. We'll talk about that too. But I mean, I want to talk about this the most because I think it's got the most conjecture about where we're going.
I think the Thunderbolts are kind of stepping up and replacing the Avengers in a sense because we don't have them anymore. And I mean,
we know we're getting them because the end of the next phase is capped with 2 Avengers movies.
But there's a long way to go between here and there.
Yeah, so the Thunderbolts we've got, you want to write them off, or should I, or should Ken?
Yeah, well, it starts with what appears to be the leader, would be Yelena, our new Black Widow.
Yeah.
From there, we have kind of the big shocker of the group, Bucky.
Uh-huh.
And I think I will come back to that. I wonder, what is Bucky doing there?
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Standing next to him is U.S. Agent, which no surprise. We saw Madam Hydra recruit him. But those two right there, I can't imagine that going well.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, who was behind that? Fill me in.
Shit.
Go the other way while looking up.
Yeah, the other direction we had Red Guardian. Oh, yeah. It was Taskmaster.
Yeah.
Taskmaster in the back, which, where Yelena went, I would expect Taskmaster and Red Guardian to kind of come. So neither one of those were a big surprise. And Ghost was over there, and then we did see Madam Hydra.
Yeah.
The only big shocker there is that there's no Abomination. Having seen him in She-Hulk, kind of thought that he might fill out that, monster Hulk role. Kind of where you were going a minute ago with the overall theme being kind of this corporate America pitched version of the Avengers.
Yeah.
And you could see how Bucky and U.S. Agent would love that. Both of the role of redemption, the new Avengers.
I guess. I don't see Bucky being okay with U.S. Agent. I mean, he was so...
Maybe that's why he's there, to keep that guy in check.
Maybe.
That'd be like a Bucky move.
The Rick Flag of this group, the good guy.
That's why Bucky's there.
This is always parallel to the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
So, not out of the realm to say they need that kind of controlling force and that could be Bucky.
Yeah. I mean, I was shocked to see Ghost there, honestly, because I didn't expect them to do anything else with her. I thought she was a one-off villain from Ant-Man 2. But...
Well, even in the Ant-Man and the Wasp Stinger, when they all go to dust, they're sending Scott in to get energy to help Ghost control her power. So I always thought she was coming back.
Okay.
She was and there's a problem Marvel has, and that's why it was fairly easy to pick this. They're the ones that aren't dead. Marvel kills a lot of villains.
They do, yes.
The ones that survived, there weren't many to pick from.
Yeah.
This is kind of what was left.
So, I don't know. I'm a little surprised by Taskmaster because, she is a very different version of Taskmaster than we've seen in the comics. Not at all in control of herself.
But at the end, she kind of gained control, right? She
I,
got the red dust.
I hope that's where they go with it.
Yeah, I think that whole group now gets to kind of make their own fate.
And this might be our Phase 6 Avengers, basically. Just corporatized.
I think it's something that will have to be torn down.
Oh, yeah. I don't doubt that at all.
To Ken's point, the real Avengers will be coming in a new group.
Yeah, there's no way Sam Wilson, as Captain America is going to be okay with the U.S. agent.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, no.
So that's a great segue. Let's go into Captain America and the New World Order.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got some casting news for that one.
We did. We learned that the leader is returning from the beginning of the MCU and the Incredible Hulk, same actor.
Tim Blake Nelson.
Yes. And
which I'm a fan of that guy.
Oh, he's a wonderful
incredible
actor.
And I always wanted this, It would seem Marvel has gained control of that universe now fully, contractually, because they're pulling from it hard with everything we've seen in She-Hulk and now this. And I think that's an overlap, by the way. We can talk about that.
Yeah, well, I think it ties in. But yeah, I mean, that Marvel movie, we saw him transforming into the leader, and then it cut away. That was it.
Also, some pictures from that panel showed Elijah Bradley on stage, which would indicate that he will play a role in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't hear anything else about it. I just saw a still. And it also had the young man that's going to kind of take the Falcon. You can help me with this.
Martinez is the character's name.
Yeah.
But yeah, he became Falcon in the comic books. Young Falcon.
So those are the three I saw on stage, Anthony Mackie and those two. So
yep.
Kind of gives us an
more
idea
young
of what
Avengers,
direction they're going.
Gonna have a Falcon and young
Yeah,
Avengers.
I mean, we know we're heading towards Young Avengers.
Yeah.
We have them all lined up.
That might be the Avengers role that we have in these two Avengers movies, coming up. They may be the full-fledged Avengers. We're expecting them to be called the Young Avengers, but what if they're not? What if they're
step
the
up
Avengers?
I kind of feel like we're going to go down because we're still in phase 4? We have a long way to go to 6. I feel like we're going to go through these disparate groups. We've heard kind of the Midnight Suns, the Thunderbolts, the West Coast Avengers, maybe a fledgling group of mutants. I think we're going to see all these groups form and then have to come together to become Avengers for the Kang threat.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. It's that building we've always loved about Marvel.
Right.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I hadn't thought about that, but it's a great idea. We've kind of become spoiled a little bit with all these characters that we've seen, building this continuity, and they're all together, and everything is, a giant battle, and now it's rebuilding the same.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what made us love these characters.
We're building towards that threat that we were building towards for 3 phases.
Yeah. So I think that's a great idea. They establish themselves, they get their cred together, they become their own characters with their own storylines. I think that's wonderful. That's what they're doing.
Did you guys watch that Secret Invasion trailer?
Yes.
Much espionage, like a spy thriller,
right?
Like exciting.
Just got chills because when you think about the comic books and how pervasive the threat was of the Skrull takeover, and you didn't know who you could trust and who was already infiltrated.
And it was more profound than that. It was the Queen Skrull, which the assumption is Emilia Clarke is the Queen Skrull. It was religious. It was deeper than just we're taking over the earth. It's like we have a religious right to your planet. It was given to us by our God.
Expansion. So
I think if they dip into that, it will be a better story. If they go that route to where they feel like they deserve this planet.
Yeah.
This is our planet. We're coming to take it. But look pretty dark. There's some dark scenes in that shit, man.
There was.
I've actually never read Secret Invasion.
Worth your time. Please read it.
Well, I kind of don't want to now. I want to see their take on it a little bit. Just, going in blind. But, I mean, we have this haggard Nick Fury who, and I've always thought the MCU was best when they were playing spy games. Like, Winter Soldier was my favorite, because it was just like a 1970s spy movie. Mm-hmm. And this one seems like that so much. And I think they're setting up so many things after this. I talked with Justin before the show tonight about when he was asking Rhodey about his security detail, because Rhodey seems like he's more a politician now than anything else. and we know Armor Wars is coming out of this. So it's Nick Fury showing back up, claiming his place, and it's, as he says, this is my war. I have to fight it alone.
Yeah. It's fair to assume they knew Thunderbolt Ross, the actor. His name is escaping me, but they knew he was sick with cancer, and they probably planned to write him out, and this is a good opportunity to do that. But that takes he's the Thunderbolt in the Thunderbolts,
Yeah.
So I hope they didn't write him out completely.
It makes it a little difficult, but that also, going back to the leader and She-Hulk, we haven't talked about it. We've had the Wrecking Crew. Clearly, somebody's trying to get Hulk blood.
Yeah.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, before we get to She-Hulk, let's wrap up the trailers. We got a couple more. Okay, we got Werewolf by Night. I've got some thoughts on that.
That was
weird.
Yeah.
I watched it a couple of times, and I'm trying to figure out if this is satire, or if they're trying to be serious. I'm like, it's all over the place.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know if it was like a real trailer or parody or what it was.
Exactly how I felt about it.
there were some celebrity faces in there, though. I mean,
a lot of screaming in the camera.
very weird.
So arms flying off.
They're
and
taking
shit.
some risks in the old MCU.
Well, black and white. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, we're like a month away from this. October 7th.
Speaking of risks, something else that came out this weekend, not D23, but Susan Sarandon was interviewed recently, and she was talking about she's going to be the villain in Blue Beetle. The entire movie is going to be in Spanish and subtitled in English.
Really
Massive swing. I mean,
interesting.
I look forward to seeing it, but that's a big swing.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I had not read that.
I read it
Or
just
heard that.
earlier today. She just said so in an interview. So it hasn't been confirmed by the director, but
It doesn't bother me.
no, I mean,
I got no problem with
I love
subtitles.
El Orfanato and Pan's Labyrinth. Fantastic, beautiful movies. I
But
love
that's
reading them.
for a mainstream movie.
For
That's
a
a
superhero film. It's a big swing.
Yeah.
Back on track here. Let's talk about the Daredevil article that we read about Charlie Cox.
He says that we're not going to be seeing season 4 of Daredevil from Netflix. That the title Born Again is legitimately a new version of this character, and season 1 a new start. So new stories, new characters. That's kind of what he said. So I mean, I guess I don't know how to
It
feel
confirms
about
that. It kind of confirms that the Kingpin that we saw that in Hawkeye that was weird is not the same Kingpin.
Yeah.
Clearly.
And I'm fine with that. I think it's great that they pull these actors, who we all love, and it's just a blank start like that. That's wonderful. There's no baggage from anything else.
A lot of
they can
character
tell their
development
stories.
we're just supposed to forget about, though.
It's unfortunate that that's the case.
I mean, but who do you feel bad you're forgetting about?
Like I said earlier, I was talking about the Bullseye character. I enjoyed the hell out of that.
He was good, but I
feel like they created this amazing villain, and then now it's over. It even ended with him getting the adamantium spine.
Yeah.
And then now it's okay. So we're writing him out. But that's heartbreaking for me. But
I just think there's a lot of things they can do away with. Elektra and their version of the Hand, who were like just digging underground for dragon bones
Dragging
and
down their
shit.
bones.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot they can do away with and make it more realistic.
No Defenders. That never happened.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. It does make me sad because I like them all together. But moving on.
yeah, let's zoom past a couple of things. One is that Wakanda Forever is going back to reshoots, which usually means some trouble on set. Not necessarily. They may be able, cleaning up some spots.
Change the direction,
Maybe a little bit, but the rumor is still that Letitia Wright is just a pain to deal with. I mean, that has been prevalent since all the way from the first Black Panther movie, and I mean, she is the heir apparent. I mean, every sign points to that she's going to be the new Black Panther.
Yeah.
She apparently is very difficult to work
So
with.
say it's Killmonger.
Big rumor that Jodie Comer is going to be Sue Storm, even though we didn't get that announcement in Fantastic Four.
We got no announcement.
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous fake announcement everybody was posting around the internet.
Yeah, right.
And it was Henry Cavill's doom. Let's just talk about it. Let's say that was true. How would you feel about it?
It was. I don't like it. I mean, it was knee jerk for me. I posted it in our group. That was knee jerk, and then I was like, what? Like a minute later, I was like, yeah, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is probably fake because it doesn't check out. It just did not check out.
You wouldn't like Henry Cavill as Dr. Doom?
No, I wouldn't.
I don't think I like it either.
I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't. I'm out. I mean, there's so many other characters that he could be in Marvel that I just feel like that'd be wasted on him. I mean, God, the laundry list of actors who could be Doctor Doom that could play that role. Fucking Leonardo DiCaprio could be Doctor Doom.
He has been
fucking
under
kill
the
him.
metal mask. I mean, come on.
Just somebody
Yeah.
coming out of my head that has played a villain that could fill that role.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't a fan of the casting overall. I think John Krasinski, while I love that, I think he's too old.
I don't think it's going to happen. I
No.
want it to happen, but I don't think it will.
No, I don't think it will either. I think, at this point, they're looking for younger actors is what they're going for. Not like
The
ridiculous.
cast in the next
Like-
10 years of the MCU.
Yeah, that's
so
what
it's-
they're looking for.
Totally. So, well, there's a couple other things. We didn't get to see the Quantum Mania trailer. We didn't get to see the Loki 2 trailer, even though apparently there was some.
Oh.
It just kind of didn't make it to the internet
I
yet.
guess they'll dole those out over the next few weeks.
So, for sure. We'll get those, certainly. So, y'all ready to attack She-Hulk?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of got into it a little bit, but just with the announcement of the leader, we saw in the previous episode ended with the Wrecking Crew, and then they mentioned the leader or the boss, and we
Yeah, they
assume
didn't
now that
say
he
who it
was
is,
that
right.
this new world order that they're building towards with Captain America may have something to do with his next level kind of super soldier mix with Hulk blood. So.
Mm-hmm.
That leaves the door wide open for some cool stuff with Captain America and Hulk.
Yeah, she didn't expect the Captain America Hulk. Those two, you don't expect those to work together in the story arc while they're aware of each other. So that's interesting that, Captain America's going to have to deal with the leader, which in turn deals with the Hulks and the Abomination, and that brings that all over. So that's interesting.
And
She-Hulk,
Go
too.
ahead.
I was just going to say, we've seen the mid-season trailer of She-Hulk, and we've seen the Abomination breaks his parole. He, I guess I can't
It
say
looked like
he
he was
Hulks
partying
up.
or something.
He Abominations up, against his parole for whatever reason. So it's going to be interesting.
So what do y'all think the potential is, and that this storyline, there's got to be a villain, there's got to be a reason the Thunderbolts come together. What do you think the leader is testing something new, and he's working with Thunderbolt Ross, and he tested on Thunderbolt Ross. We get Red Hulk. Red Hulk is the villain. They bring in the Thunderbolts, eventually Adam Oblonsky, and possibly even She-Hulk. And this is the team that we send forth against our introduction to the Red Hulk.
Oh, you just wrote the next fucking 2
Yeah.
or 3 minutes.
Wow.
All right. Way to go, Justin.
Whoever on Marvel is watching this, because you motherfuckers do.
I'd watch the hell
Yeah.
out of that.
100%.
I'm not sure about it, but I'd be down for it.
Yeah.
I mean, with William Hurt being gone,
It's a good way to, if you just introduce it's happened.
Yeah.
You don't even,
just
maybe
have CGI, and he's just assume he's him.
boom, we got, you don't have to deal with it. There's a reason that, that's what I was getting to earlier. There's a reason Rhodey would be having that security detail. If he went Red Hulk and, went crazy, then there's an opening at the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah. And
that
we
could be
know,
Rhodey.
that, fuck. Sorry, I'm drawing a complete blank right now.
You want to bring up Armor Wars? Or what
Yes,
you gonna do?
yeah. What we know that is leading directly to Armor Wars with Rhodey. And it's
I'm
clear
going to
that
be upset if Armor Wars comes before we get Doctor Doom, because Doctor Doom is very important to Armor Wars in the comic books. Very important. So, probably won't get it, just like Civil War was different than it was in the comics, clearly. So, anyway, didn't mean to break you up.
No, that was my point. Is we know that this is leading directly into Armor Wars. Rhodey is the lead character in Armor Wars, and I think it's going to be him going from being a politician back to fucking war machine.
Yeah.
Boots on the ground.
I hope they bring Justin Hammer back.
Oh, they've already said
Yes,
they're going to bring
yes.
him back.
Sam Rockwell, I watch
Yeah.
anything he does.
He'll just dance his way out.
Two
first.
video game news from Marvel. One is the Uncharted creators making Captain America and Black Panther games set during World War II. These guys are more gamers than me, so I'm going to let them have it.
I play the hell out of that shit.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's not a lot of news, but I mean, honestly, Marvel games copied DC games. You know, the Batman fight style for everything. The Wolverine game was amazing. The Deadpool games were amazing.
Yeah, that
Like-
Wolverine Origin game had no business being that good.
Yeah,
Because that
exactly.
movie was garbage.
Yeah.
That game was freaking phenomenal.
So I'm just looking forward to it. You
Yeah.
know, that's all there is to it.
Mhm.
Them set in World War II, they can just create their own mythology. Doesn't matter. You're not going to screw anything up. Have fun.
Yeah.
Go nuts, please.
Some kind of vaguely intersecting storylines.
Yeah.
Plays both of them working towards that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Maybe the Demon Torch shows up, not Johnny, but you know the original.
Another one is
Yeah.
EA Games is making an Iron Man video game. How do you guys feel about that being EA Games? EA, what is their big game other than the sports?
Call of Duty.
Mhm.
No. Is that? Yeah, it's Call of Duty.
Is it EA Call of Duty?
Doesn't matter.
I mean, they're the big kind of evil in the world of games. They own so much. So
Yeah. I would like to see an Iron Man game where you know VR. They've had that one.
yeah.
You know, but I would like to see one that was just full fledged. You know, the whole 9 yards.
I mean, I picture the PlayStation Spider-Man games, and you put Iron Man in that kind of world,
Yeah.
and it'd be amazing. It's that Superman game we always wanted, we never got.
Yeah.
Flying through the city.
Well, some of that Avengers game that was kind of that we had a couple years ago. Some of the cool stuff was some of the Iron Man flying. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun. They needed work, but
Yeah.
just I'm picturing.
I mean,
that.
if they do open world with Iron Man, it'd be a little more difficult than Spider-Man, but you could do it and do it really well. You know,
Oops.
you'd have to.
We've
kinda,
seen it in the mods that they do on Grand Theft Auto,
Yeah,
and it
There's a
plays out pretty well
Iron
in the
Man
open world
mod
there.
for real. Where you are Iron Man.
Like I said, I love swinging through the city of Spider-Man
Yeah.
in those games, and I can put myself right there, flying through the city,
Uh-huh.
popping up, giving the hand blast. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm there if they can figure it out.
it's meditative for me.
Well, back
for
to
that kind of
She-Hulk.
stuff.
I mean, this was probably my favorite episode.
Oh, I mean, it was a
I
great
mean,
episode.
I thought it was freaking hilarious. I mean, I thought it was more fun than I've had the whole season so far.
What do y'all think about the path of Wong and how
Wongzi? Talking about Wongzi?
Wongzi, yes.
Look, I know Wong has gotten a lot of shit, but I remember the very first Doctor Strange movie where he was in the library listening to Beyonce, where Doctor Strange was stealing the restricted
He's
books.
always been a silly
Kinda
guy.
set
Yeah,
the tone for it,
and
yeah.
I don't have any problem with that. Like, you know, that's his character. That's what he does. He could step aside from watching The Sopranos to suddenly defending the multiverse from metaphysical threats.
So
Like, that's just what he does.
what do y'all think about the new favorite theory coming back? That is it Madison? Is it Madison?
It's Madison with two
Two
N's
N's.
and a Y where you
Not
didn't
where you
think it would be.
She had her conversation with the demon,
She
When
could
she
walk
was
out of
in
the
my-
portal with a fucking heart in her hand.
Mephisto.
Okay,
Does Mephisto
you
return?
call it? I'm calling it. I'm calling it.
Are we going back to this
No,
now?
Madison is the new Ghost Rider. I'm calling it.
Ghost Rider, not Mephisto.
Like, oh my God, let me read your soul.
It has been since WandaVision since we were calling Mephisto every single week. So that you're calling
He's
Madison
getting his
as
ear into
Mephisto.
Wongzi.
And you're calling her the new Ghost Rider? What does she drive a fucking Prius? You know, with like.
I tell you what, she has won the internet this week.
Yeah. She's a riot. I mean, she really was.
Oh my god.
And it's, the tone of this show is just fantastic.
It is.
So much
Light
fun.
and playful.
Yeah.
So much fun.
And I think, honestly, in my opinion, I think they've done a really good job balancing her real life as a lawyer with the superhero stuff. They have it it's been a good split.
Yeah, there's one thing that pulls me out. It's just not realistic, and that people would not want to date Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah, I mean, she's gorgeous.
That girl should not be having problems dating until she goes green and helps up.
I mean, I prefer one over the other, but if she made me breakfast, I wouldn't be like, I'm out. Yeah,
she dated on this episode, and it was a cast of hilarious losers, and then she goes hulks out and gets played.
Yeah,
right.
So still a very good commentary on the life of American women and what they have to deal with.
Anyway, closing thoughts on She-Hulk? I think we're giving it enough.
Yeah, loving it.
just like
We got some Star Wars news this week, which we haven't had Star Wars news in a while.
It has been a minute.
Mm-hmm. We got a new Mandalorian trailer, and then we got some casting news.
Yeah,
We did, and you have the man's name there.
I do. I do not.
give us a second. We'll have it in a moment.
Ezra Bridger was cast for the Ahsoka series, and I'm not familiar with the actor, but just he looks perfect. If I close my eyes, that's exactly what Ezra Bridger would grow up to look like. So
Dead on.
if we can get the actor's name.
I just keep talking. It's
We also got the Mandalorian Season 3 trailer, and it looks fire. We have a lot more Mandalorians in this trailer.
Yeah,
You know, it's no longer just the solo Mandalorians in hiding.
I believe we're about to see a Mandalorian Civil War.
Yeah.
mm-hmm. That trailer looked awesome.
And Jen's going to be at the center of it with that
Darksaber. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see it in the trailer, but it's going to make a big difference.
Yeah.
We know
I
it's
just loved
coming.
how cozy they were in that little starship. It was freaking adorable.
Dude, when he built it, as soon as you put that little bubble up on top, I was like, Dad's Grogu's spot.
I think we'll get some. He's starfighting and Grogu's up there, and he's up there maybe using force powers.
Crash.
I mean, that's a lot cuter, really. I was thinking force powers, but
More than 850 caliber gun, yeah.
Right. So that's it.
Either way,
Star
he's a
Wars.
psychopath.
Okay. Some other shows that are going on right now that we're digging. I'm sure a lot of people have been watching the Lord of the Rings prequel series, The Rings of Power, on Amazon. I think we're 3 episodes in now.
I thought
Yeah.
there were 4
Is it 4?
out. I don't know. I'm behind, so.
So far, really digging the show. The new characters that they're introducing, characters that we've seen further down the road. They're tying in the Lord of the Rings with
So cool.
Galadriel from the beginning, and then this week's episode, help me out, Isildur.
And his father.
Yeah,
So becomes king. He's the one that you haven't seen it.
No,
Are we
I'm behind.
spoiling this?
No, you guys go ahead. I'm going to catch
You
up.
watch the first 10 minutes of the Fellowship of the Ring, and you get that Kate Blanchett.
Yeah, it's not going to be spoiled for me. I know
That
the history
ties directly
of the shows.
into this last episode.
we're seeing building towards this group, this alliance that ended up forging the rings.
Mhm.
You know, that's talked about with the Great Ring that will rule them all, bind them, and all that good stuff.
It's really cool though to see the rise of Sauron and
Yeah.
the things that we just saw in 10 minutes in the first
Mhm.
Lord of the Rings movie. We're watching it play out and build up. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
And still a lot of things they're doing that keep us guessing.
Mhm.
Like the man that fell from the stars.
Right.
I'm loving the Harfoots, and it's seeing the past of these characters and these
Kind of origins. of these
origins.
races.
Yeah, they came across the Misty Mountains.
Yeah.
And they broke out into these little packs, and you can see how their little townships battled each other,
Yeah.
and you always heard them sniping about the families.
Yeah,
and
and that's where they were
we're
based.
seeing that kind of built out.
Yes.
That's fun.
I'm enjoying revisiting Middle Earth. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot of fun. So
So I didn't know you weren't caught up. We won't hit it anymore.
No, I don't mind it all. Don't worry about it. I read the books when I was younger, so it's not a big deal.
We won't ruin it anymore, but it is getting a lot of hate online, and I don't get it. I ignore it. Please give it a shot for what it is. It's a
Yeah.
fantastic piece of art that carries on, a story that we love so much. And like Ken said, it's so awesome to get back to Middle Earth and see that from a completely different perspective. So I'm looking forward to where we're going from here in this one.
mhm.
And to jump from something not completely different, we've got the House of Dragons.
Yeah.
Another book series that's very well famous and very well read.
And it's a
You
prequel.
know? Yeah.
What a cool time just to be like a fantasy fan. Medieval
Right?
fantasy
Yeah.
fan.
If you were a book nerd, when 20, 30 years ago, you were loving what's going on right
Yeah.
now.
Right. So, I mean, on the heels of Wheel of Time last year, which I don't think you guys watched it, but
No.
you should.
It's a
Should watch
huge
it.
series.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Very
So, but
serious.
anyway, carry on. You're starting a thought there. Talking about the House of the Dragon.
Yeah, the House of the Dragon. We're definitely on episode 4 on this one.
Mhm.
That episode was Matt Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk about everything else, but I mean, the man didn't say a word in the entire episode, and
God.
he stole the episode.
Yeah. That final just John Wick moment where he just went through.
I mean, he was brooding, and you thought he was losing it when he beats the bannerman that comes with the message from the king, and you think he's just giving up, and I mean, just a freaking epic scene.
Yeah.
Right.
But questions at the end. Who is the dragon rider?
We don't know.
Who was the dragon rider that was helping him?
Yeah.
It was the guy with the white hair that was in the council.
Was it?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was the.
How is he?
He's
Because he's Valerian, he can ride a dragon?
I'm not sure of the details, but he
The
had the white
Valerians
dreads.
are the original, like, center of the continent.
Right.
They can ride dragons as well as the
Okay.
Targaryens.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So where'd they get the other dragon?
We'll see. Also, they're not dragons.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, they're not dragons that they're riding. Sorry, this is my complete nerdiness. They're technically wyverns because dragons have 4 legs and 2 wings. These have 2 legs and 2 wings.
So House
Which
of
are
the
all
Wyverns,
Yeah.
however you pronounce
Yeah.
that. Okay.
just within.
Shame on you, HBO.
How dare you.
Never gonna change, but I'm just for my particular thing. They're wyverns,
That's
not
a whole
dragons.
Anyway,
I'm a nerd. I understand.
I'm digging the show. I'm enjoying it.
It's so good.
I feel like there's some moments where the effects kind of irritate me. Like when the
On
board
the dragons at times?
Sometimes it's just kind of it's not right. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's just not right. I feel like there's a quality decline versus say the season finale of the original.
Yeah.
It's like that dragon burning that city was like.
I will
whoa.
say, I think Darkness gives a lot more leeway with CGI, and with some of those scenes being shot in lowered, dusk or darkness, it was better. These dragons are coming in the broad daylight, and the juxtaposition of her sitting on a dragon and everything, the depth it seems off in the daytime.
There's a lot off. Like the boar scene. When
Yeah.
the boar jumped on her and she's stabbing
right.
it. The neat scene and all, but the blood looked really bad.
Yeah.
Go back and watch it and look at it. It's like it's kind of tough. Anyways, that's my only gripe about it. Really, I'm for the most part enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, we all are. It's a good show. Check it out. Yeah, definitely.
Did we hit it all?
I think we did.
We didn't. We've hit enough.
Yeah, Disney made a lot of announcements on the animated side and the pure Disney side. We're not going to go through them, but there was some cool stuff. We'll hit on we got a teaser trailer for the new Little Mermaid. The actress playing her, it sounds like someone else's name, so I'm not going to try it.
Yeah.
It's like Halle something, but not Berry.
It's close.
But she sounds amazing. I thought sound just like Ariel in that little snippet. So I'm sure that will be a big hit when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of other things, Disenchanted, but
Yeah, D23,
Disney
they
stuff.
released a lot of stuff. Check them out.
yeah.
We can't cover everything, but there's a lot of trailers, a lot of just videos. Check them out.
Yep. And if there's anything that we didn't talk about you think we should have, let us know in the comments, and we'll hit it next week. Or they will. I will be out of town. Until then, it is a great time to be alive and be a nerd. So get out there and do something nerdy, and come talk to us at CNA about it.
Yeah.
Everyone be
Let's
safe.
go.
Have a nice week.